We're live. Hey, good morning, Chad. How you doing?
I'm good, Michael. How are you?
I don't know. I'm actually kind of tingling with excitement in a very strange way, and I guess by the fact that I'm festooned in a certain branded gear. I don't know if you guys can read it. I'm wearing big
Yeah.
chicken all over the place. You want to
People are
guess
gonna
where
think
this
you got a
is?
new job.
Well, I under the tutelage of this amazing guy named Kimian in Las Vegas that's teaching me the ways of chicken, uh,
Yes.
as to the manifesto of a certain Shaquille O'Neal. And no, jokes aside, I got this when we went and we visited Big Chicken out there with our friend Sam Stanovich, who is a big part of their operations there. And what are we doing today, Chad?
We're talking to Sam.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of clumsy setup for everybody, but the reason we did this isn't usually our usual cadence that we do these things at, except Sam's currently in Las Vegas. What is it? The IFA show? Is that what he's at?
That's right. Big
I've never been to
franchisee show.
that.
Me
You've never.
neither. We
I've
almost
never.
went to it this year. Almost.
Yeah, it's kind of anomaly, but I think all the work we had built up after January said let's not jump off on any more shows until we get our house in order.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
was a good call.
yeah, I think so.
As much as it stings to not be there with everybody
Yeah,
there.
but we have friends that are there, and so we can benefit from that too. So, but yeah, so Sam and Josh Halpern, at Big Chicken, are on a mission, right? They have a fantastic brand. They have amazing food. I mentioned a guy named Kimian who is a manager at the Vegas store, and he represents some really amazing culture. Like you couldn't pay somebody to be as enthusiastic about a brand as that man is about Big Chicken. So, well, I guess without further ado, I just wanted to warm up for the audience who's here, why
Yeah.
we're so excited.
Bring
Um,
him out.
yeah, let's bring him
Everyone's
on
waiting.
stage.
Come on.
Yeah, everybody, welcome Mr. Sam Stanovich to the show,
Um,
episode number 6 of ChatGTM. Welcome, Sam.
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here. It's nice and early here in Las Vegas. Day number 2 of the International Franchise Association annual conference and convention, where it's the largest collective of franchisors and franchisees across all verticals, which is actually
okay.
kind of exciting for me because it's not just seeing food folks, right, in
Yeah.
our normal state of mind, but getting to see, franchisors and franchisees from other verticals, service industries, all types of different businesses, and really finding and hearing their stories and sharing their learnings, sharing their potholes, and how we can all grow together. Because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, we're all trying to help and support each other and grow business, grow opportunities for our families, and really live that American dream. So we've got, as we kind of like to call it around this world, not only entrepreneurs but frampreneurs, and
Fran,
it's frampreneurs, franchise entrepreneurs, because when you're in franchising, you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You fly a flag. You're part of a team. You get the playbook. You get the services, and you really get to leverage a lot of excitement and other experiences together. So it's a great 4 days here in Las Vegas once a year with the IFA. They're an amazing trade association out of Washington, D.C., that not only brings the members together, but also fights and advocates pro business and make sure that we can get to our work and do it as best that we can.
is this a lobbying group or do
Uh,
they
they
also
do
have
they
lobbying
do it.
power?
Yeah, they do have a government affairs department, and they represent the franchisor franchise model not only on the national level but in all the states as well.
I know a certain young Stanovich that could possibly step into a role like that one day.
Yeah, he's definitely, the government affairs team at the IFA has talked to a young Stanovich at one point in time about his future career. But the team at IFA is fantastic.
Yeah.
They care about their members, they care about the business, and they just want to see everybody strive and be successful. And I think that's what brings so much energy every February to their convention, because a lot of these other verticals don't have as many trade events that we get to participate in the hospitality industry. So this is
Yeah.
a lot of times their one big event to attend, and how much knowledge, networking, sharing can they gain in those 4 days?
Is this a booth show? Or is it
Yes, it is.
purely walking? Okay, so there are booths
Yeah,
there. There are brands that are representing their franchises there, and that's
there
where
are.
you're doing essentially doing sales at the booth.
No, we don't have a booth. We could. I mean, there are brands that do, but there are complete supplier partners. So the whole ecosystem is represented here
Hmm.
in business, but it's all just it's focused on that franchise or franchisee model.
Hmm.
So for the typical attendee, right, the franchisee attendee, what are they typically looking to get out of this show?
The franchisee is looking to garner a lot of times scalability. What are the different attributes that are affecting a franchisee, whether it is government relations, whether it is marketing, how to engage better with their franchisor, where are their local store opportunities in the market to enhance their service and products as well. So a franchisee would be looking for that and then to network with other franchisees to learn and grow. Because a lot of times, if you're just in your own vertical or in your own segment, um, you forget what are the other things that are out there. And a lot of times we all share in those same trials and tribulations and successes. So that's where the networking really comes to play.
That makes sense. Now, from your perspective, right, are you seeing existing franchisees of yours at this show? Are you kind of catching up with old friends, or are you meeting a lot of new people, or is it a good mix?
It's a great combination. That's a really good question. You're going to see people from, like, we have folks from the Big Chicken brand here. We have folks from other brands. We're on the hunt for new franchisees, so it gives people an opportunity to meet and greet us. And we've got offers to take people over because the best thing if you're ever going to enter a food franchisee is you have to love the food that you're going to get involved with. So since we have the OG Big Chicken location #1 right here in Vegas. We're taking people down and feeding them during the 4 days and welcoming into the Big Chicken ecosystem so they can see what it's all about because we aren't everywhere. We're still an emerging brand. So you have all
Yeah.
that kind of engagement and networking going on over these 4 days.
How didn't I know that was store #1? Just because I don't listen?
Yeah, I'm
Maybe.
not quite sure. I mean, we had a whole Facebook show that was tied to the creation and build of the store. So if you look up Facebook Shack on online, you'll see the whole creation of the brand and Shaquille taste testing things and telling the stories of how they pick certain designs and so forth.
When I
What?
first heard about the brand, Big Chicken, here's what I thought. And I'm going to say this because I think other people, not most people, hopefully, but some people would have thought this thought, man, these guys have Shaq. This brand's going to be awesome, successful. I'm sure the food is good, right? But it doesn't have to be the best because they've got Shaq. And
Hmm.
so the surprise for me was when I tried it and it was the best, like, oh, this is really good. And then I heard the story, like, oh, it's that good because of Shaq, right? Not the, it was like the opposite, and he was driving the quality into the food, and it's like, man, it truly is some of the best fried chicken you can get.
Isn't it true? Go ahead.
In
Go ahead, Sam.
with our origin story of, Shaquille and his mom really looking to do something that meant something to them, right? And bring
Yeah,
out those flavors and recipes of what they enjoy to share them with others. I mean, isn't that one of the things about going to restaurants and sharing food is you share some designs that you enjoy, right? Now, granted, we have a team of chefs that would continuously improve because that's our mantra and that's Shaquille's mantra is how do we continuously improve the brand, food, and quality and experience. But it all started with Shaquille and his mom. And when growing up on military bases, she cooked a lot of chicken, and that's comfort food to the big man. So he's very proud of the food. He enjoys the food. Every time he's in Vegas, so he has a house here. He swings by the store, talks to the staff, gets some sandwiches, and off he goes. So it's great that we're popping him up because, as we know, he's a very busy man and he's all over the country, and he likes that taste of home when he's on the road.
That's got to be wild to have to do crowd control when the owner wants to go to his store if they find out he's going. That is a whole different thing,
That's a whole
right?
different dynamic, and we could do a whole podcast on how does local events run when your
Yeah, yeah.
boss and celebrity founder decide to show up. So we've got a lot of great stories, but Shaquille's a man of the people, and the first thing that he always wants to do, and this is always very important, is when he gets to a restaurant, the first thing he wants to do is go talk to the staff because he knows it's the staff that makes the restaurant. And he wants to go and engage with them first because they're representing the brand and he wants to motivate them and give them high fives and, grab a few fries out of the basket. But it's always the first thing when we get to a location that he wants to go and talk to because it's the people that make the difference in restaurants, right? And when you look at franchising in all restaurants, not just Big Chicken, but all restaurants who want to be successful, it's all about the people giving great service, right? You anticipate getting great food, but it's that service that really just ups it a whole nother level.
Yeah, and I can't talk highly enough about your guy Kimian out there. I mean, when we went and visited, I think with or without you there, he gives the same show.
Yep, he brings
Right?
the big fun. I mean, that's part of our
Yeah.
culture. It's a big flavor, big fun, and Kimian is an all-star, and you just see that dynamic smile when you walk in, and you're
Yeah.
right. You guys went without me, and he didn't know you guys were coming, right? And
So good.
that was the experience, right? You got big smile. He talked about the flavors, talked about what he liked, helped your menu choices, just like you would get in a full-service restaurant, and hopefully told you a few jokes and brought a little bit of fun to your time with us at Big Chicken.
Absolutely. That's one of the reason we want to go back is the brand is great, and we want to go see Kimian. Like he made it that good. Like
It's always
100%.
about the people. It's always about the people.
Yeah. So I'm going to pivot real quick because we're going to talk more Big Chicken at the end. But let's talk about what you're doing today. Like you are at the IFA. You have a panel coming up with what is it? Technology evolved. That's kind of a big topic.
Yeah, I'm super excited, knowing the team at IFA and some of the things that I like to do. I personally like to give back and in the form of, podcast interviews and get other industry leaders who can share their knowledge. And, today at IFA at 1:30, we've got an exciting panel. Marina O'Rourke from Frank Connect, our good friend Troy Hooper from Pepper Lunch, and our other good friend,
Awesome.
Scott Taylor from Cherry Bounce. We are excited to come and discuss technology evolve because if there's one thing that continuously evolves in our business is technology. And how does that transcend from the ideation of it, the creation of it, all the way down to the implementation at a restaurant level or a franchisee level? How does the franchisor and franchisee connect and discuss technology and emerging technology? Then what are the costs, really? I mean, if you think about it, guys, everybody is trying to solicit us for another SaaS product. What SaaS products do we really need? And then let's cut the clutter between all the acronyms that are out there confusing everybody. You got ChatGPT and you got NFTs and ABT and ZBT. It's every day there's a new thing coming at you. And what are those tools that are really applicable that can help a small business owner today, right? Versus the ones that are very lofty in the future, right? And what's important to their business. So we're going to talk about it, and obviously we've got hospitality professionals in there, but we're going to talk about it from everything from cultivating a new franchise lead, which could also be discussing how do you cultivate a new sales lead. So regardless of if it's restaurants or a dry cleaning service, we all need new customers, right? All the way through retention, right? So we'll talk about loyalty and how does loyalty engage, and it's gonna be an exciting hour today. We're gonna leave the group with some nuggets. Me as a new member of the board of the International Food and Beverage Technology Association, you're gonna be sharing how operator members can get a membership for free to get the white papers and then join the community and conversation. Because one of the things, and we heard this loud and clear in the surveys last year when I did a technology workshop, is can we also talk about how to negotiate tech contracts, right? People don't realize all the things that go into a tech contract nowadays, and then what are the costs to change, right? Those tech contracts, right? What are renewals on the tech contracts? Are there rebates in the tech contract? Because just like food, there could be a rebate opportunity there. And then who owns the data? Because at the end of the day, what data are you getting from who and who controls it and who gets to see it? So those are all great negotiation points. So we're going to leave a slide behind with everybody because everybody's going to negotiate some form of technology contract, whether you're a franchisor or a franchisee on the local level, even just doing a simple, marketing ad with a outdoor media company is now a technology contract because they're trying to lace in not only the outdoor media board, but the technology that they've applied to the board that geofences your phone. So you have to think about all these things that are going out there. It's no longer you're just buying a paper ad. It's how does
Yeah.
that paper ad work through the whole continuum, right? So you distribute a paper ad, they bring the paper ad in. How do they get redeemed? How do you get them into your loyalty program? And then how do you have the ability to retarget them? So
It
Very
feels
good.
like
lots of stuff to talk about.
that is a lot. It feels also, as you're going down that road, it feels like it's worth mentioning that some systems you can pull out and say, hey, I'm good. I'm just going to be done with it. And there's some systems that are sticky, meaning you got some dependency on it. And then there's some you get that you're literally ripping out your entire nervous system if you take it out, like a POS, right? There's got to be some level of how you look at those things, because if you make some decisions, you can't easily unmake that if you built your business on top of it. Outside of POS, is there anything else like that you see that actually
Oh,
would be
yeah.
so disruptive?
I mean, it depends on what your stack is, but I mean, you go from
Mhm.
your point of sale to who's your online ordering platform, right? And then do you have an aggregator and integrator for third party? My specialty is obviously food and beverage. How does loyalty
Mhm.
pull in? But the stack is just more than those things, right? It's menu management, it's digital menus, it's the marketing assets. How does that all work together in this ecosystem? And to your point, everything that you do now involves some form or shape of technology. And how
Yeah,
does that integrate? And
yeah,
you've got firewalls in the restaurant, right? So where are the accesses and permissions? And nowadays, with everybody moving to digital menu boards and wanting for free Wi-Fi and other services in, how much bandwidth do you need from your ISP? And then what
yeah.
happens if your
That's a really good
ISP
point.
fails?
Do you get do you actually consider that? Because we've been talking to some clients lately about that very subject. Like, the ISP is a backbone, but it's also kind of, you don't hear a lot about it. Just it works quietly doing its thing. But what like best practices and stuff around what you select for that are you just calling a local phone guy? Are you going with specific vendors? Like, how do you pick ISP in these days? Because I'm just a
You,
consumer, right?
IFBTA has a lot of resources on selecting ISPs because it depends on where in the country you are.
Hmm,
Right? Are you a major market or a sub market, right?
hmm.
What is the connectivity coming into your building? So in Big Chicken, our Marcy Root, who's our head of construction development, she goes through that because if you're
Oh,
building a new building, you have to think about what are they putting in? Are they bringing in just a regular coaxial cable? Are they bringing in fiber? I think that the days of thinking about T1s are dead for restaurants because that's just
yeah,
overkill.
DSL ain't cutting it, right? So
Yeah,
that's, you need
so so what is it? And then what is the rollover, right? If you're in a market that doesn't have stable ISP, all of a sudden Starlink has now become a big conversation because it was 5G, but for the price of 5G versus Starlink, do you maybe put a Starlink system in as a redundancy? Because the last thing that any operator, regardless of the business, wants is that point of sale to create a friction with the customer, right?
yeah,
And because of all of the threat of scam, cyber attacks, and everything, you want to make sure that you don't have to your point earlier, you said loose ends in your internet. You don't want to have any loose ends with your ISP and your connectivity. So you really need to think about it. And a lot of times you take it for granted, like you said, it's just up and running. But
yeah.
what happens when it goes down, right? Like Michael, you're in Florida right now. How do you feel when Spectrum goes down and they're rebooting the system? Because you're digital based, right? Do you have a
Yeah.
redundancy? We wouldn't be able to have
Well,
this podcast right now,
I have to go to my phone and maybe it'll work. But yeah, we're so darn dependent, like, on these things
right?
to really work. And transactions don't happen typically now if you don't have a connection. You're not gonna anymore, right? That's out of compliance. So you
Right.
literally shrug your shoulders. You don't do sales.
So now, so
That's
now
not
you
an
think of, so now you think about the failover on it, and there are, depending on your size and your system. I mean, there are big companies out there like Hughes and Comcast who will
option.
give you a roadmap to figure out how it works the best way. I mean,
Yeah.
retail. I mean, retail. If you think about it, the big box stores used to put satellites on their buildings so they'd have redundancy.
Yeah.
Because to your point, they weren't using the knuckle busters, right? You know,
Yeah.
they want that data to be flowing. So
Yeah.
it's people don't think about that, and that's really good point. So if everybody who is listening in right now, think about what happens when your internet and your business goes down, and what is your plan, right? That is a
So,
great question to
and
ask yourself.
Sam, do franchisees appreciate how? I mean, this is sounding like a veiled compliment, but like, I mean, I'm curious. Like these guys, you guys are very tech forward, right? An innovative brand. I mean, that's why you're on this panel this afternoon. Do franchisees appreciate that aspect of your brand and partnering with you, or is that kind of like
Well,
missed on people?
I I mean, I hope so. I mean, we are trying to be a leader for them, right? They're our teammate in this, and we need our teammates to be successful. And in the end of the day, they're operating restaurants. So if there are things like this, we are doing the job to build and get as much intelligence to them as possible to make the best decision. So
Yeah.
it's something we take wholeheartedly, and this is why Josh and I attend these trade shows, is to gather what information is out there and what are the priorities. Because at the end of the day, they're running their stores and operations, and they're growing their businesses and dealing with 15 to 25 employees per restaurant, and all the other things that come along with people management and so forth. So having that time to think about what's the best practice for using ChatGPT is probably not. And I come out of being an operator, so I was a
Yeah.
franchisee with another brand. I owned an independent restaurant. When you are doing these things, especially for the first time, your first time opening your doors, you don't have time to think at that macro level anymore, right? Because you're getting your sea legs underneath you. So, we
Yeah.
take it as part of our, not only our strategy, but very important, because we want our teammates to win at all costs. So,
Well,
we're going to make that investment to give them the best playing opportunity on the field.
so that I think that's a fantastic segue to the thing that I was really excited to talk to you about is the great expansion and the global expansion of Big Chicken, right? And we even use the franchise model when we're talking about ourselves, when we're saying when we support people, because we're providing an umbrella of knowledge, wisdom, coverage, whatever the things that we provide to them. And I have to imagine the package that you guys put together for your franchisees is pretty sweet, with the things you guys have thought through, because the whole idea is that they don't have to figure it out. You figured it out you've figured it out for them, right? Here's our fantastic product. Here's our fantastic spokesperson who's a true believer and has great food. And here is a fantastic system of the things that we've said will work if you do these things, do these things thoughtfully, right? Um, Tell us what's going on, Big Chicken, the big growth. What's
You,
going
you
on?
you know, we're still an emerging brand, and I think
Kinda like it.
as we bring new teammates in, we look for teammates who have skills.
Mhm.
Because what you will find in our leadership team, driven from top down, is that we are not all the smartest people in the room. But what we are is, we like to listen, we like
Mhm.
to engage, we like to ask questions, right? And we are bringing great operators who come from other systems, who have experiences and who have thought for things. So
Mhm.
we really take a lot of it to heart, and when we take things to market, we want to bounce ideas off of folks. One of our board members, Perry Rogers, likes to call it our kitchen cabinet. So who's in our kitchen cabinet of ideas that we can bounce things off of, whether they're a partner or a franchisee, because we have a continuous improvement culture. And we always look at our worst day as today, because we're getting better every day. So we keep
Well,
moving
I
that needle
also Josh
forward.
is just a beast, right? Like Josh Halpern is a beast of finding the money and how to make money for businesses. Like even when you and I went to dinner, he's like, you know what, this is great, but they sure should have had a jug of what do they call the wine when you put fruit and stuff in it?
Sangria.
Yeah, but they should have a jug of sangria at the table waiting for us. They would already had a $20 sale before we even got going. Like I was like, wow, that's a really smart way to just get going. Like Josh knows his stuff. You know.
Josh
Uh,
and Josh's decision making is very, very analytical. He loves the data. and watching him digest the data and think about it and then produce suggestions is absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. But that's what makes our team, right? We went out and we've got people with lots of experience, and not only at the company level but in the franchisee level, and bring that all together. So we're looking to amass in our franchise system some amazing teammates who all want to play to win, who want to serve big flavor and want to have big fun in the restaurants. Because at the end of the day, what are we doing? We're serving somebody a meal, and we want to put smiles on their face, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal, is that you walk out with a smile on your face. You think about the environment that you were in. Maybe you were toe tapping to some of the music that was playing. Maybe you watched
Yeah.
a little of the trivia on the TV, or just the staff members having a good time being in the business, right? Or other guests just enjoying and talking about their food as we continue to innovate and bring new menu creations to life. I mean, that's it. I mean, the magic is in the restaurant. It's serving great food with great people. That's it. That's what we do.
So, Sam, most of what you guys do and excel at is generalizable to other brands, right? They could copy and take a page out of that playbook and do well. But what do you guys do that's unique or different? Or I should say it this way: what do you do differently because you've got Shaquille O'Neal in your corner?
Well, I think, sure. I mean, chicken is a highly competitive market right now, right?
Mhm.
So, our recipes have to be different, right? We have to have a different flavor set, right? That we believe is craveable for people to come to and have that experience, right? You have to have that differentiator, right? What are people looking for when they come? And we really specialize on, that the white meat segment. Now we did add wings this year, but really we specialize in the breast and the tender. And then we've got this really cool product called dunks, which are these big chunks of
There we go.
white meat breaded, and they're dunkable in the sauces, right? Again, how do we have some fun and innovation with it? If you've had our shakes, they will always put a smile on your face. They're decadent, they're delicious. We added a line called minis so you could enjoy the indulgence, because people are watching calories a little bit more nowadays, right? So we have to have something available for everybody, and that's what we want to be. We want to be welcoming, right? We want to
Yeah.
have a flavor wheel. So when you come in the big chicken, depending on what you're looking for, we're not a veto vote, because there's something on the menu that will satisfy everybody's flavor and look.
But I think so. One of the things that struck us when we went in there, and you're probably so close to it, you might not even see it right away anymore. Is this kiosk you guys built? I think you partnered with Byte. Is that who you guys work
Yep.
with?
Yep, we work with
Yeah.
Bike, and we're having a lot of fun, taking
Yeah.
that kiosk model. We've Brandon Barton over at Byte, took on the challenge with us and said, "Hey, we want to create something different." And we've put the Shaquille O'Neal family menu on the kiosk. We have images of Shaquille, his mom, and his daughter dancing and laughing on it,
It's
pointing to
video
their
though. It's not an
favorites.
image. It is video. They're doing stuff, right? They're
Yeah.
moving through the thing is the kiosk as you're doing your orders, right?
And we're looking, future state. We have a lot of partnerships in the community. Um, so we're looking at how do we bring some of those community partners into the kiosks too. So if you're, for example, local in Tampa, is there a partner in maybe a high school sports or athletics in that community? How do we start engaging, or the college? How do we start engaging them in the kiosk as well? Really bring it local, because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, restaurants are local.
So if you're talking about franchising, what markets are you opening up currently, or where are you looking to expand
Right now we're
specifically? I
right
mean,
now we're kind of just focused on planet Earth. I mean,
okay.
we are the only restaurant group that has an intergalactical franchise agreement to go outside of planet Earth. Yes, it is kind of fun, but it was tied with Blue Origin and education and space and
Yeah.
math and science. So that's kind of the fun play on it. But at the end of the day, it's about where we can find great teammates who want to
Yeah.
own and operate franchise locations, serve great food, have an unbelievable founder story that they can join. Like they've joined
Yeah.
other franchise brands for whatever reason, and fly the big chicken flag and serve some great chicken sandwiches and shakes. So for us, it interesting. This year we'll open 3 new restaurants in Honduras. We'll open in the Middle East this year and Canada. So we're very excited about our growth plan. But here in the States, we've got more locations coming online. We've got a new location in Tampa. So Michael, you're going to be able to eat it. It's going to be about 20 minutes from the house. So you're going to be able to enjoy Big Chicken on a higher frequency, and we can watch you get
I will
those.
be there grand opening day, just going nuts.
Yeah, watching your loyalty account just rack up the points, and maybe you can earn the Carnival cruise that's in our loyalty catalog.
Oh,
Um,
shoot.
yeah, so there's a lot of fun coming, and there's a lot of growth and opportunity. We're taking a direct. We're not trying to be the fastest to market. We're just trying to
Yeah.
build with the right franchise partners and continued steady growth.
What else, Chad? Do you have any other questions for Sam?
Well, I want to be cognizant of time and getting you back
Yeah.
to the show, Sam. But I mean, coming up, right? Other than the panel, what are you most excited to see or do there in Vegas?
It's really the appointments that I have set, with some new potential franchisees, which are exciting. But then talking with some folks outside of the restaurant vertical on how are they leveraging and using different marketing vehicles to amplify their word. So it's interesting because I think when we look at other verticals and what they're doing, we can learn some things and then see what things are applicable to what we're doing now every day. So I think that's the exciting part about being with the group is having those conversations. It's walking the trade show floor and seeing what new exhibitors are there and what old exhibitors are there and what exhibitors are leveraging certain different tech as well. So looking for some new things, looking for some inspiration because I always find inspiration when I'm out with folks. And then, you don't know who you're going to meet unless you're present. And that's one of the things that you have to be in this business is you have to be present because if you're not, this podcast wouldn't be happening. If I didn't go to dinner with our friends at Branded Hospitality and they said, hey, you should sit next to this guy. He lives in Tampa. He may be near you. Well, this would never be going on right now because we were both present. Right.
Yeah,
And we were both open to meeting new people. So, the universe will do those right things for you. So it's a lot of fun.
So you're saying you got to show up to play?
You have to. Well, you have to show up, and whether it is that you travel to an annual conference or you go to a local, every community has got a chamber. Every community has got business groups that are active. The question is, how present are you going to be? How is it going to help build your business? How's it going to help you sell? How's it going to help you network? And if you're not present, you miss all the opportunity. So you have to be able to square off a few hours. And then as you grow and you look to make investments, you have to invest in yourself and you have to invest in programs like this. That's the only way that you're going to get better. If you believe it's just the 4 walls of whatever business you're in, it's a much harder road. It's much easier to spin the wheel with 10 people helping you spin the wheel than one person spinning the wheel. So that's how you have to look at it. And community is key. So look for your local, again, if you don't have the funds to do it at this point, or you haven't budgeted and it's not in your playbook, there is something in everybody's local community that they can jump on. And if they're really busy, they can always jump on a LinkedIn community because there are great discussion and business forums on LinkedIn that people can get connected to and start that conversation there. So if they're, busy because they're understaffed or for whatever reason just can't make it out, technology runs 24 hours a day. And we've got a new mantra in 2025, and we're going to showboat that a little bit called Money Never Sleeps. So how do you continue to grow your business and make money? Because money never sleeps.
Love it. And hashtag rising tides. That sounds like a good plug for our friends, Sean Walchef and Troy out there doing the good work they're doing on the LinkedIn network.
No doubt about it.
Dude, thank you, Sam. I know you're in a place where people are dying to see you. We really appreciate the time you park with us. I'm excited about this weekend because we're going to eat some delicious food at our friend's restaurant, Amy Hom's, Barcelona Wine Bar. I think we're becoming a fixture there.
Yep.
But
No doubt
they know we
about it. But Michael, you have to admit, thinking about Amy and what she's built there with culture, right?
Oh my God.
She's not there because she's the chief operating officer of a great brand, but it's
Yeah,
her people. I mean, Adriana, the manager there, is fantastic.
100%.
You know,
Yeah,
we've been
last
there.
time we went, go ahead.
I said we've been there enough that when we walk in, she sees us. We can't
Yeah.
sneak in, and some of the servers have gotten to know us.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
secret shopper is gone. We cannot do that.
no,
We'll have to wear funky masks or something. Last time we were there, literally a fork dropped. It was picked up within seconds, like just back to almost old school, service where they just like they're on it. They're just so on point, and they do stuff that make you feel special,
100%.
and it's little things. But that's what makes an experience amazing is they take the time to go, what is that one thing I can do to make my guests smile?
And we walk out with a smile, right?
Oh
And
yeah, and we text Amy great pictures, and we have a great time doing it. It's not because we're pandering to our peers so we can sit in their restaurant, because we sincerely love their food. Her chicken is amazing. The food they have is amazing, and the team makes it all that much more delicious. Just like Kimmy at your spot,
yep,
sealing the deal, right? It's like a sandwich that can be okay with good meats and products inside of it. It's the bread that really sends it home, and the staff is the bread of service. It wraps around everything and connects it all, right? It brings it home. So love it, man. I
excellent
hope
point.
you.
Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys inviting me to have me on, squeezing me in this morning.
All
I'm chomping at the bit to get down to IFA. Oh, there we go. We got some
There he
imagery. Uh,
Sorry, I had to do that. Shameless.
chomping
Anyway.
at the bit to get to the convention today, and for those who want to follow, check it out. We'll put some highlights and we'll share the nuggets on your technology contract on LinkedIn afterwards with a summary of our session today. So,
Awesome.
appreciate you guys. Nice to see you, and Michael, I'll see you Saturday.
Thank you, Sam.
All right. Safe travel, Sam. Have a great one. Stay out of the gang and enjoy the show.
Outstanding. Bye bye now.
Till next time. Bye.